The 1970s and 80s saw a boom in restaurants, but sadly, a lot of these places that used to serve quality food are now a thing of the past. Today, we'll be looking at 50 of these restaurants that faded into history. 1. Child's Restaurants. Child's Restaurants, founded in 1889 in New York City by brothers Samuel and William Childs, was one of the first U.S. restaurant chains. It revolutionized dining by emphasizing cleanliness, efficiency, and affordability, offering a modern experience at a time when eating out was often chaotic. Child's signature style featured white-tiled walls, stainless steel counters, and a focus on hygiene, which was uncommon at the time. The menu was simple: oatmeal, eggs, toast, and sandwiches, appealing to working-class people who wanted a clean, reliable place to eat. By the early 1900s, Childs had expanded to over 100 locations, with some becoming iconic, like the Spanish Revival-style building on Coney Island. However, the Great Depression in the 1930s hit the chain hard, as people had less disposable income and newer chains like McDonald's began to rise. Management issues and changing tastes contributed to Childs' decline. By the 1950s, Childs had mostly vanished, but its influence remains. The chain helped shape the modern restaurant industry with practices like standardized menus and a focus on cleanliness. The next restaurant on this list fell into decline for completely different reasons. 2. White Tower Hamburgers.
50 years ago, there was only one hamburger man in town. He sold little square pure beef hamburgers with a tasty touch of onion, and everybody went to him when they got hungry.
White Tower Hamburgers was a fast food chain that started in 1926 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If the name sounds familiar, it's because White Tower was heavily inspired by White Castle, right down to the name, white porcelain buildings, and slider-style hamburgers. In fact, it was often seen as a knockoff of White Castle. Despite the similarities, White Tower grew quickly and reached about 230 locations at its peak in the 1950s. It became especially popular in urban areas across the East Coast and Midwest. The chain's burgers were affordable, tasty, and quick, making them perfect for busy people during the Great Depression and post-World War II eras, when convenience was key. White Tower's aggressive advertising also helped its success, using slogans like "Buy 'em by the bag" to encourage bulk purchases and promote the cleanliness of their kitchens. However, trouble came in the form of a lawsuit from White Castle in the 1930s. After losing the case, White Tower had to pay damages and change its branding. By the 1970s and 80s, competition from newer fast food chains like McDonald's led to White Tower's decline, and by the late 20th century, the chain was gone. Our next entry was a victim of changing eras and tastes. 3. Don Pablo's.
Pescado blanco, son fantásticos. Para una gran comida Tex-Mex, venga al patio de Don Pablo's, the real enchilada.
Don Pablo's was a Tex-Mex restaurant chain founded in 1985 in Austin, Texas. It quickly became a favorite in the casual dining scene, known for its bold flavors, oversized portions, and lively Southwestern-themed atmosphere. Signature dishes like sizzling fajitas, enchiladas, and queso were served alongside giant margaritas and sopapillas, creating a fun dining experience for families and groups. In the 1990s, Don Pablo's expanded rapidly, reaching over 100 locations across the United States. The chain was especially popular in the Midwest and Southeast, regions where Tex-Mex dining wasn't as widespread at the time. Its bright decor and festive vibe made it a go-to spot for celebrations, while its large portions and affordable prices kept diners coming back. However, the early 2000s brought challenges. Changing tastes, increased competition from chains like Chili's and On the Border, and economic struggles led to declining sales. Management issues and ownership changes couldn't reverse the trend. By 2016, Don Pablo's filed for bankruptcy, and its remaining locations were shut down. The next restaurant is a fading giant that was once a household name. 4. Charlie Brown's Steakhouse.
And we're nice.
Try our steak festival. Steaks from $7.50.
Charlie Brown's Steakhouse was a casual dining chain founded in 1966 in Washington Township, New Jersey. Known for its hearty steak and prime rib offerings, the restaurant quickly gained popularity for delivering quality meals at reasonable prices in a relaxed, family-friendly atmosphere. It became a staple for those looking for a solid steak dinner without the formality of a high-end steakhouse. One of Charlie Brown's standout features was its legendary salad bar, which became a major draw for customers. The extensive, all-you-can-eat setup included fresh greens, toppings, and side dishes, setting it apart from competitors. Menu highlights included juicy steaks, burgers, seafood, and comfort food classics like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. At its peak in the 1990s and early 2000s, Charlie Brown's boasted over 50 locations, primarily across the Northeast. The restaurants were designed with a cozy, tavern-like feel, complete with wood paneling and warm lighting, making it an inviting spot for families and casual outings. However, the chain faced challenges in the late 2000s. Increased competition, changing dining trends, and financial struggles led to closures. By 2010, Charlie Brown's filed for bankruptcy and began shutting down most locations. While a few locations remained open, the brand has largely faded. Our next restaurant is one with Southern comfort food roots. 5. Po Folks.
For the best value in town, it all adds up. Po Folks, hearty home-style cooking.
Po Folks started in 1975 in Anderson, South Carolina, with a mission to bring traditional Southern comfort food to a wider audience. It wasn't just another restaurant. It stood out for its affordable, home-cooked meals served in a warm, nostalgic atmosphere. The name Po Folks itself was a nod to humble, hard-working roots, and the chain leaned into that identity with rustic decor and a menu full of Southern staples. The menu featured dishes that felt like they came straight from a grandma's kitchen. Fried chicken, chicken and dumplings, catfish, country fried steak, and cornbread were some of the popular offerings. Sides like collard greens, mashed potatoes, and black-eyed peas rounded out the meals, while desserts like cobblers and banana pudding provided a sweet finish. The portions were generous, and the prices were reasonable, making it a hit for families. By the 1980s, Po Folks had grown to over 100 locations across the United States, becoming a go-to spot for those craving a taste of the South. However, the chain began to struggle as the casual dining market became more competitive. By the early 1990s, financial difficulties led to the sale of many locations and rebranding efforts, with some restaurants transitioning into new concepts. Although the original Po Folks chain faded, the name and idea still live on in a few independent locations. Our next entry is a case of suffering from too much success. 6. Showbiz Pizza Place.
I bet that pizza tastes good.
You've never seen a place like Showbiz Pizza Place.
Showbiz Pizza Place opened its doors in 1980 in Kansas City, Missouri, as a family-friendly restaurant combining pizza, games, and entertainment. It wasn't just about the food. Showbiz stood out for its unique concept of blending dining with an interactive experience featuring animatronic characters. The chain quickly became a favorite spot for kids' parties and family outings, offering a mix of arcade games, play areas, and live performances by the beloved Rock-a-Fire Explosion, a group of animatronic animals who performed on stage. The menu kept it simple, focusing primarily on pizza, which was affordable and easy to share. However, the real draw was the atmosphere. Showbiz Pizza Place was a sensory overload of lights, sounds, and games, creating a carnival-like experience inside a restaurant. The animatronics were cutting edge for their time, with lifelike movements and quirky personalities that became a hallmark of the brand. By the mid-1980s, Showbiz was competing head-to-head with Chuck E. Cheese, another family entertainment chain. Eventually, Showbiz bought out Chuck E. Cheese in 1984, but the two brands merged under the Chuck E. Cheese name by the early 1990s. This move spelled the end for Showbiz Pizza Place as its unique identity faded. 7. Wags.
If you want a great Oriental dinner, just follow the experts to America's family restaurant, Wags.
Wags was a short-lived but memorable chain of fast casual diners operated by Walgreens during the late 1970s and 1980s. The concept was an extension of the pharmacy giant's business model, offering customers a convenient and affordable dining experience. The name Wags was a playful nod to its parent company and sought to evoke a casual, friendly atmosphere. The menu at Wags was straightforward and aimed at offering classic American diner fare. Patrons could enjoy burgers, sandwiches, breakfast options, and comfort food staples like meatloaf and fried chicken. The pricing was budget-friendly, which made Wags an attractive option for families and casual diners. Many of the restaurants operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, appealing to late-night and early-morning crowds. At its peak in the 1980s, Wags had over 90 locations across the United States, often located adjacent to or inside Walgreens stores. However, the chain struggled to compete in a crowded market dominated by more established diner-style restaurants like Denny's and Howard Johnson's. Operational challenges and a lack of clear brand identity further hindered its growth. By the early 1990s, Walgreens decided to exit the restaurant business, and Wags locations were sold off or shuttered entirely. 8. Fountain Cafe by Woolworths. Fountain Cafe by Woolworths was a beloved dining experience that operated inside Woolworth department stores for much of the 20th century. Known for its casual and affordable meals, the Fountain Cafe became a central part of the Woolworth shopping experience, offering shoppers a chance to sit down, relax, and enjoy a meal or a quick snack. The concept of the cafe emerged in the early 1900s as Woolworth expanded its stores to include lunch counters. These counters were simple and unpretentious, serving classic American fare such as sandwiches, burgers, hot dogs, soups, and salads. Desserts like ice cream sundaes, milkshakes, and pies were also popular, and the cafe's soda fountains became iconic for their fizzy treats and malts. During the mid-20th century, Woolworth's fountain cafes weren't just places to eat. They became community hubs. Families, workers, and friends gathered there for affordable meals, and the lunch counters played a significant role in the social fabric of many towns and cities. However, the cafes also gained historical significance during the Civil Rights Movement. In 1960, the Greensboro sit-ins began at a Woolworth lunch counter in North Carolina, marking a pivotal moment in the fight against segregation in public spaces. As department stores began to decline in the latter half of the 20th century, so too did the popularity of Woolworths and its fountain cafes. The brand faced stiff competition from standalone diners and fast food chains, which were often more modern and efficient. By the 1980s, Woolworth began closing many of its locations, and with them, the fountain cafes faded away. 9. Orange Julius. Orange Julius began in 1926 as a small stand in Los Angeles, California, and quickly became one of the most iconic refreshment brands in America. The original concept was simple: create a refreshing orange drink that was both tasty and healthy. The result was a creamy, frothy beverage made with orange juice, milk, sugar, vanilla, and ice. It was an instant hit, offering a sweet and tangy taste that set it apart from the traditional lemonade and soda drinks of the time. In the 1930s, the stand's owner, Julius Freed, patented the drink and began franchising the concept, opening additional locations throughout the U.S. The drink became known as an Orange Julius, and the brand grew rapidly. By the 1940s and 1950s, Orange Julius stands could be found in shopping malls, amusement parks, and even gas stations, offering a quick, refreshing treat that was a popular stop for shoppers and travelers alike. The success of the drink was fueled by its unique formula, which combined fresh fruit juice with a frothy, milk-based blend. By the 1980s, the brand faced increasing competition from other fast food chains. Despite this, Orange Julius maintained a loyal fan base. In 1987, the company was acquired by Dairy Queen, and the two brands became part of the same company. 10. All-American Burger. All-American Burger was a popular fast food chain that rose to prominence in the 1960s and 1970s. Its appeal was rooted in its no-frills classic American menu, offering affordable and simple meals like hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, and milkshakes, comfort food staples that quickly became a hit with families and working-class Americans. The chain's slogan, "Fresh, Hot, and All-American," played into the nostalgic and patriotic sentiment, emphasizing the idea of an iconic, all-American dining experience. The original all-American burger restaurants were known for their streamlined service and casual vibe, with counter service where customers could place their orders and enjoy their meals in the comfort of a clean, cheerful environment. Unlike other fast food chains of the time, which focused heavily on standardized menus and quick service concepts, All-American Burger emphasized the quality of its ingredients, offering freshly made burgers and fries. At its peak, the chain expanded across the United States with numerous locations, especially on the East Coast. It became a familiar spot for families, college students, and individuals looking for an affordable, fast, and satisfying meal. However, by the 1980s, the brand began to decline, with many of its locations shutting down. 11. Coco's Bakery Restaurants.
Served with fries plus a slice of pie, just $8.99. Coco's, it's all good.
Coco's Bakery Restaurants were a chain of family-friendly dining establishments founded in 1948 in the Los Angeles area. Known for their warm and inviting atmosphere, Coco's combined the appeal of a casual restaurant with the charm of a bakery, offering customers a wide variety of baked goods alongside traditional American fare. The name Coco's was derived from the company's emphasis on its fresh, home-baked desserts, particularly pies and cakes, which became a hallmark of the brand. Coco's menu featured classic comfort food like sandwiches, salads, soups, and breakfast items. However, it was the bakery offerings that truly set Coco's apart. Their signature pies, cakes, and pastries attracted a loyal following, with favorites including lemon meringue pie, coconut cream pie, and fresh-baked cinnamon rolls. The bakery also offered a selection of seasonal and holiday-themed desserts that kept customers coming back throughout the year. By the 1990s, Coco's began facing increased competition from other family dining chains like Denny's and IHOP, which offered similar menus without the bakery component. Despite efforts to rebrand, including a shift away from bakery items, Coco's struggled to maintain its edge. In 2014, the chain filed for bankruptcy and sold off many of its locations. 12. Bressler's 33 Flavors Ice Cream. Bressler's 33 Flavors. Ice cream was a popular ice cream chain founded in 1930 in the United States, known for its variety and quality. The name 33 Flavors wasn't just a catchy slogan, it was central to the brand's identity, reflecting the wide selection of ice cream options it offered. This concept was inspired by Baskin-Robbins, which also marketed itself as offering a wide range of flavors. Bressler's, however, was more regional, primarily found in the Northeast and parts of the Mid-Atlantic. The chain was known for its commitment to premium ingredients and rich, creamy ice cream in a variety of flavors, from classic vanilla and chocolate to more exotic options. Bressler's was also famous for creating unique concoctions, making it a popular stop for ice cream enthusiasts. The brand's parlors featured a nostalgic, old-fashioned atmosphere with soda fountains and counter seating, giving it a diner-like charm. At its peak, Bressler's was a go-to spot for families and kids. However, by the late 1980s, the brand couldn't compete with larger, nationally recognized chains like Baskin-Robbins and Dairy Queen. Most Bressler's locations closed, and the brand faded from the scene. 13. King's Food Host. King's Food Host was a popular chain of fast casual restaurants founded in 1958, known for its unique offering of burgers, fried chicken, and hearty American comfort food. The brand initially gained attention for its distinctive royal theme, which was reflected in its decor and branding, featuring crowns, regal imagery, and a menu designed to appeal to families and casual diners looking for a quick and satisfying meal. King's Food Host set itself apart from other fast food chains by offering a more upscale dining experience compared to typical burger joints of the time. The restaurants were known for their cozy, sit-down atmosphere, making them popular spots for families and small groups. While serving items like hamburgers, fries, and milkshakes, the brand emphasized fresh ingredients and a special experience for its customers. In the 1960s and 1970s, King's Food Host expanded across the United States, especially in the Midwest and South. However, As the 1980s brought increased competition from national fast food chains like McDonald's and Wendy's, King's Food Host struggled to keep up. Despite efforts to rebrand and diversify, the brand's decline continued. By the early 1990s, most locations were closed, and the name faded from the dining scene. 14. VIP's Big Boy. VIP's Big Boy was a regional chain of restaurants that operated primarily in the western United States during the 1960s and 1970s. It was part of the larger Big Boy franchise, but the VIP name designated specific franchise locations. The chain followed the model of the original Big Boy restaurants, known for their casual, family-friendly dining atmosphere and hearty American comfort food. The highlight of the menu was the iconic Big Boy Burger, a double-decker sandwich with special sauce, which became a favorite among regular customers. VIP's Big Boy offered a variety of traditional American fast food options, such as hamburgers, fries, milkshakes, and fried chicken. The bright retro decor, often featuring red and white colors with checkerboard floors, created an inviting environment that appealed to families and young diners. The Big Boy mascot, a chubby boy holding a burger, became a recognizable symbol of the chain. However, as the fast food landscape evolved in the 1980s, VIP's Big Boy struggled to compete with larger, national chains like McDonald's and Burger King. Changing consumer tastes and increasing competition led to the decline of the chain. By the 1990s, most VIP's Big Boy locations had closed or been rebranded. 15. Henry's Hamburgers. Henry's Hamburgers was a fast food chain that gained popularity during the 1950s and 1960s. Founded in 1954 in Kalamazoo, Michigan, the restaurant was part of a wave of fast food establishments that emerged during the post-World War II, catering to the growing demand for quick, affordable meals. Initially, Henry's stood out by offering simple and delicious hamburgers for just 10 cents, quickly making it a hit with families and busy workers. The chain's menu focused on classic fast food staples like hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fries, and milkshakes. The restaurants often featured a drive-in design, with car hops delivering meals directly to customers' vehicles, which added to its appeal. At its peak in the mid-1960s, Henry's Hamburgers had over 200 locations across the United States, making it a formidable competitor in the burgeoning fast food industry. However, as larger chains like McDonald's and Burger King began to dominate the market with aggressive expansion and marketing strategies, Henry's struggled to keep pace. By the late 1970s, the chain had declined significantly, with most locations closing or being sold off. 16. Morrison's Cafeteria. Morrison's Cafeteria was a beloved chain of cafeteria-style restaurants that began in 1920 in Mobile, Alabama. Founded by J.A. Morrison, the concept offered a unique dining experience where customers could walk through a serving line and select from a variety of freshly prepared dishes. This self-serve approach, combined with affordable prices, quickly made Morrison's a favorite among families, workers, and seniors looking for hearty, home-style meals. The menu featured Southern-inspired comfort foods such as fried chicken, roast beef, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and an array of vegetables. Morrison's was especially known for its freshly baked bread, desserts like pecan pie and banana pudding, and its famous signature salad dressings. The food was always served with an emphasis on quality and freshness, which helped the chain gain a loyal following. By the mid-20th century, Morrison's Cafeteria expanded throughout the southeastern United States, becoming a staple in malls and shopping centers. At its peak, the chain operated over 100 locations. However, the rise of fast food restaurants and changing dining preferences in the 1980s and 1990s led to its decline. By the early 2000s, Morrison's Cafeteria was absorbed by larger dining corporations. 17. Clifton's Cafeteria. Clifton's Cafeteria was a legendary dining institution in Los Angeles, California, that opened its doors in 1931 during the Great Depression. Founded by Clifford Clinton, the cafeteria became known not only for its affordable meals, but also for its welcoming and charitable spirit. Clifton's offered a pay-what-you-wish policy, ensuring that no one went hungry regardless of their ability to pay, which earned it a loyal customer base and a reputation as a community staple. The cafeteria stood out for its elaborate and whimsical decor. Each location featured a unique theme, with the most famous being Clifton's Brookdale, designed to resemble a redwood forest complete with faux trees, waterfalls, and woodland murals. This immersive environment provided diners with an escape from the everyday while enjoying hearty, home-style meals. The menu at Clifton's cafeteria included a wide variety of dishes, such as roasted meats, casseroles, soups, salads, and desserts like jello and pies. The cafeteria-style service allowed customers to choose their meals and enjoy them in a relaxed, communal atmosphere. Clifton's flourished for decades, becoming an iconic part of Los Angeles culture. Although most locations eventually closed, the original Brookdale was restored and reopened in the 21st century. 18. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor was a beloved chain of family-friendly restaurants founded in 1963 in Portland, Oregon. Created by Bob Farrell, the parlor became famous for its old-timey theme, featuring turn-of-the-century decor, staff dressed in period costumes, and a lively atmosphere filled with music, fun, and laughter. Farrell's was designed to be more than just a place to eat. It was an experience that celebrated the joy of sharing ice cream with loved ones. The menu featured a wide range of sundaes, milkshakes, and other frozen treats, with the ice cream being the undeniable star of the show. Farrell's was particularly famous for its extravagant creations, like the Zoo, a massive sundae served in a large bowl and carried out by multiple servers with bells and whistles. These theatrical presentations made it a favorite destination for birthdays, parties, and celebrations. In addition to ice cream, Farrell's offered classic American food, including burgers, sandwiches, and fries, making it a well-rounded dining spot for families. During the 1970s, the chain expanded rapidly across the United States, becoming a household name. However, by the 1980s, Farrell's began to decline due to increased competition and changing consumer tastes. Most locations closed by the 1990s. 19. Swenson's Ice Cream. Swenson's Ice Cream was founded in 1948 by Earl Swenson in San Francisco, California. What began as a single ice cream shop grew into a beloved chain that offered premium, handmade ice cream in a variety of unique flavors. Swenson's quickly gained a reputation for using high-quality ingredients and crafting rich, creamy ice cream that appealed to customers of all ages. The original Swenson's shop, located near Russian Hill, was known for its welcoming atmosphere and its extensive menu of flavors. Some of its signature offerings included sticky, chewy chocolate, Swiss orange chip, and fresh strawberry, which became instant hits. By the 1960s, Swenson's had established itself as a local favorite, and its success encouraged the brand to expand. During the 1970s and 1980s, Swenson's locations began popping up across the United States and internationally. The brand offered not only ice cream cones and sundaes, but also milkshakes, floats, and other frozen treats. Swenson's parlors often featured a cozy, retro-inspired decor that made them a popular spot for families and friends to gather. Despite its early success, Swenson's faced stiff competition from other ice cream chains and supermarkets. By the 1990s, the number of Swenson's locations had dwindled in the U.S., though the brand remained active in many international markets. 20. G.D. Ritzy's. G.D. Ritzy's was a regional fast food chain that became popular in the 1970s and 1980s, particularly in the Midwest and South of the United States. Founded in 1962 in Indianapolis, Indiana, the restaurant was known for its distinctive 1950s-style diner atmosphere and a menu focused on burgers, fries, and milkshakes, with an emphasis on high-quality ingredients and unique flavors. The name G.D. Ritzy's came from the combination of the founder's initials and a play on the word ritzy, suggesting a more upscale yet casual dining experience compared to typical fast food joints. The retro decor, with neon lights and chrome fixtures, added to its charm, making it a popular spot for families, teenagers, and anyone seeking a fun and satisfying meal. G.D. Ritzy's menu featured a variety of American comfort foods, but its standout items were the burgers, particularly the Ritzy burger, loaded with fresh toppings and served with crispy fries. Milkshakes, made with rich, real ice cream, were also a favorite. Despite initial success, G.D. Ritzy's faced stiff competition from larger, more widely known chains like McDonald's and Wendy's. By the early 1990s, the chain began to fade, and many of its locations closed. 21. Howard Johnson's. Howard Johnson's was founded by Howard Deering Johnson in Massachusetts in 1925. What's interesting about this restaurant is the fact that it started out as an ice cream shop offering several flavors. In the mid-20th century, it expanded into a popular restaurant chain which became a symbol of American roadside dining. Known for its orange roofs, reliable menu, and family-friendly atmosphere, Howard Johnson's quickly grew, peaking about 1,000 locations in the 1970s. However, due to decline in business and a gradual shift in taste of people, the restaurant declined and almost met its extinction by the 2010 22 Burger Chef. Burger Chef was founded by Frank and Donald Thomas in 1954 in Indianapolis, Indiana. It quickly became a fast food chain known for its flame-broiled burgers, popularly known as fun meals, and self-serve condiment bar. Particularly famous for its staple meals such as the Big Chef, a signature double-decker burger with a special sauce, and Fun Meals, a revolutionary kids' meal concept that included a small burger, fries, a drink, and a toy or collectible, setting the stage for fast food kids marketing. It appealed to families and budget-conscious diners. Burger Chef pioneered fast food marketing with licensed characters and tie-ins, including promotions with Star Wars. However, as a result of increased competition, management missteps, and franchise disputes, it started experiencing a decline in sales. By the early 1980s, parent company General Foods sold Burger Chef to Hardee's, which rebranded most locations, effectively ending the chain. Its legacy remains in fast food history and nostalgia. 23. Bob's Big Boy. Bob's Big Boy is an iconic American restaurant chain that was founded by Bob Wien Glendale, California, in 1936. It came to life when Wien sold his car to purchase a small hamburger stand, which he transformed into a thriving business. Bob's Big Boy gained fame for its signature double-decker hamburger, which became the major staple of the restaurant. The name Big Boy was inspired by a chubby young customer who frequented the restaurant and served as the basis for its now famous mascot. At its peak, the chain spread across all of America, becoming a staple for car hop culture and family dining. 24. Ponderosa Steakhouse.
Ponderosa, a favorite choice for affordable family dining. There's something for everyone.
Ponderosa Steakhouse was formed in 1965 by Dan Lasseter, Norm Weiss, and Charles Kleps in Kokomo, Indiana. The restaurant was modeled after the Western-themed television show Bonanza, taking its name from the fictional Ponderosa Ranch. The restaurant quickly became a classic dining chain in America, sharing its roots with a sister chain, Bonanza Steakhouse, which further added to the brand's popularity. Ponderosa became famous for its affordable, family-friendly steak dinners, cooked-to-order sirloin steaks, and hearty portions. A hallmark feature was its extensive buffet, which offered a variety of salads, sides, and desserts, catering to diverse tastes. Its all-you-can-eat concept contributed to its appeal, making it a staple for casual dining across the United States. During its peak in the 1980s and 1990s, Ponderosa expanded internationally, offering a welcoming environment with a Western flair. Though the chain has faced challenges in recent years, it remains a nostalgic favorite for generations of diners. 25. Sambo's.
An adult has dinner at Sambo's, a little adult also gets a meal. The Sam Burger Jr., a delicious double burger for just 25 cents.
Sambo's is a unique restaurant that was established in 1957 in Santa Barbara, California, by Sam Battistone and Newell Burnett. Despite going through a number of controversies, Sambo's gained popularity for its affordable, hearty breakfast offerings, particularly pancakes, and a family-friendly atmosphere. Popular for its 24-hour service, the chain appealed to diners seeking convenient, satisfying meals. By the late 1970s, Sambo's had expanded to over 1,100 locations nationwide, rivaling other major family dining chains. However, in the 1980s, the chain faced challenges and criticism for its name and branding, along with financial mismanagement. By the 80s, most locations of the restaurant had been either closed or rebranded. 26. Steak and Ale. This restaurant, founded by Norman E. Brinker in Dallas, Texas in 1966, was a trailblazer in casual dining. Brinker envisioned a restaurant that offered high-quality steaks and a fine dining experience at an affordable price, making steak dinners accessible to middle-class Americans. The chain became known for its cozy, Tudor-style interiors, dim lighting, and welcoming atmosphere, which set it apart from other dining establishments of the time. Steak and Ale popularized several concepts that became industry standards, such as offering unlimited salad bars and baked potatoes with entrees. Its signature dish, the Kensington Club marinated steak, was a hallmark of its menu. The restaurant catered to families and couples seeking an upscale yet casual dining experience. At its peak, Steak and Ale operated hundreds of locations nationwide, but competition and economic challenges led to its decline. By 2008, the chain shuttered, leaving a nostalgic imprint on American dining history. 27. The Ground Round.
Ground round, great meals.
It's my steak place.
Ground round, a great deal.
The Ground Round was a popular American restaurant chain that flourished from the 1960s through the 1980s, known for its casual dining atmosphere, large portions, and signature round table seating arrangement. It was originally founded in 1969 and quickly became a go-to spot for families and groups, offering a wide variety of menu items, from burgers to steaks. The chain also gained fame for its relaxed vibe, with many locations featuring an informal, homey decor and a full bar. However, by the 1990s, the Ground Round began to experience a significant decline. The casual dining industry became increasingly competitive, with chains like Applebee's, TGI Fridays, and Chili's offering more modern dining experiences. Additionally, Ground Round struggled to differentiate itself from other mid-tier chains, and its older, outdated locations became a turnoff for younger diners. By the early 2000s, many Ground Round locations closed, and the brand eventually filed for bankruptcy. 28. Le Café de Paris. Le Café de Paris, located in New York City's Greenwich Village, was a renowned French restaurant that gained fame in the 1970s and 1980s for its original cuisine and romantic atmosphere. The restaurant, housed in a charming and intimate space, was known for its classic French dishes, including escargot, duck à l'orange, and soufflés. Its elegant decor, which blended French bistro charm with New York sophistication, made it a beloved spot for both locals and visitors. Over the years, Le Café de Paris attracted an array of famous diners, including actors, musicians, and artists. Despite its initial success, the restaurant faced challenges in the 1980s as the culinary landscape in New York began to evolve. The rise of newer, trendier restaurants that offered more modern dining experiences began to pull customers away. Additionally, the high costs associated with running a fine dining French restaurant in a city with increasing competition became unsustainable. Le Café de Paris struggled to adapt to the changing dining preferences of a younger audience who were drawn to more casual dining experiences. 29. Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips.
Put an Arthur Treacher smile on your face. Put an Arthur Treacher smile on your face.
This was a beloved fast food chain specializing in English-style fish and chips, founded in 1969 in Columbus, Ohio. Named after Arthur Treacher, a British actor known for his roles as a butler in Hollywood films, the brand sought to bring the authentic taste of England to American diners. The founders, Nathan's famous executives Dave Thomas, later the founder of Wendy's, and S. Robert Davis, partnered with Treacher to lend credibility and a British flair to the concept. The chain became famous for its signature offering, crispy, beer-battered fish fillets paired with thick-cut chips, fries, often accompanied by hush puppies and coleslaw. Arthur Treacher's introduced Americans to a fast, casual take on traditional British cuisine. At its peak in the 1970s, the chain operated hundreds of locations nationwide. However, competition and changing tastes led to a decline, leaving only a few locations today, cherished for their nostalgic appeal. Arthur Treacher's fish and chips began to experience a decline in the late 1970s. This downturn was largely due to a combination of factors, including rising fish prices caused by the 1977 extension of U.S. fishing boundaries, which increased costs for cod, the chain's primary ingredient. At the same time, competition from other fast food chains offering more diverse menus began to erode its customer base. 30. Shakey's Pizza. This was one of the first pizza chains in the United States, was founded on April 30, 1954 by Sherwood Shakey Johnson and Ed Plummer in Sacramento, California. Johnson, a World War II veteran nicknamed for the tremors he developed due to malaria, envisioned a lively venue that combined pizza, beer, and entertainment. Shakey's quickly became known for its distinctive thin-crust pizza, paired with frosty pitchers of beer and a family-friendly atmosphere. It introduced the concept of live entertainment in pizzerias, featuring ragtime piano music and banjo performances. This unique blend of dining and entertainment set Shakey's apart from its competitors. The chain also became famous for its bunch of lunch buffet, offering unlimited pizza, fried chicken, and salad. By the 1970s, Shakey's had expanded internationally, becoming a household name. Shakey's Pizza began to decline in the late 1970s and early 1980s. The downturn was attributed to several factors, including increasing competition from other pizza chains like Pizza Hut and Domino's, which offered faster delivery options and modernized marketing strategies. Shakey's, rooted in its dine-in entertainment model, struggled to adapt to the growing demand for convenience-focused services like delivery and takeout. 31. Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut was founded in 1958, and by the 1970s and 1980s, Pizza Hut's growth exploded due to its commitment to innovation and customer engagement. Beyond offering delicious thin and pan pizzas, the chain became a community hub, hosting birthday parties, sports team gatherings, and family outings. Its iconic red roof buildings became a symbol of a quality pizza experience, and customers were drawn to its nostalgia-inducing dine-in experience, complete with jukeboxes and arcade sections, where sit-down gaming consoles like Miss Pac-Man and Galaga entertained families while they waited for their food. Children looked forward to these moments as much as the pizza itself. The launch of the stuffed crust pizza further revolutionized its offerings, creating an irresistible blend of comfort and indulgence. Moreover, Pizza Hut's international expansion introduced its flavors to new markets, often adapting pizzas to local tastes while maintaining its identity. Its memorable advertising campaigns and promotions, such as the Book It program that rewarded children with free pizza for reading, cemented its role not just as a restaurant but as a cultural icon. The 1980s were also marked by Pizza Hut's focus on community and nostalgia. Many locations hosted pizza parties, and some partnered with popular franchises like The Land Before Time, further cementing their place as a cultural hub. Today, memories of this era evoke strong nostalgia, underscoring Pizza Hut's legacy as a leader in family dining during the 1970s and 1980s. 32. Bennigan's.
Blues Buster.
We'll make you smile, 'cause we got style.
Bennigan's was a popular American casual dining chain that became well known in the 1980s for its Irish-American menu, offering dishes like Monte Cristo sandwiches, Irish stew, and a wide variety of hearty appetizers and cocktails. Its distinctive pub-like atmosphere, complete with dark wood, brass fixtures, and cozy booths, made it a favorite for casual dining and social gatherings. At its peak, Bennigan's had over 300 locations across the United States, making it a recognizable brand. However, the chain faced significant challenges during the late 1990s and early 2000s, such as changing consumer preferences, economic strain, bankruptcy, and ownership changes. 33. Taco Bueno. Taco Bueno is a fast casual Mexican restaurant chain that was founded in 1967 in Irving, Texas. It became a popular regional brand known for its Tex-Mex offerings, including tacos, burritos, and signature items like the Mucho Beef Burrito and Chiquitos, small, crunchy tacos. The chain grew rapidly in the 1970s and 1980s, expanding across the Southwest and other regions. The restaurant chain eventually faced several challenges such as increased competition, financial trouble, and failed rebranding. 34. Hard Rock Cafe. The Hard Rock Cafe emerged as a cultural phenomenon in the 1970s and 1980s, blending casual dining with rock and roll memorabilia. Founded in London in 1971 by Isaac Tigert and Peter Morton, its appeal quickly spread worldwide. By the 1980s, Hard Rock cafes were symbols of cool sophistication, where patrons could enjoy a meal while surrounded by autographed guitars, stage costumes, and rare artifacts from iconic musicians. The menu offered classic American comfort food with a twist. Burgers, fries, ribs, and milkshakes were presented in hearty portions, perfect for the cafe's eclectic mix of tourists, rock enthusiasts, and locals. What truly set Hard Rock Cafe apart was its dedication to creating an immersive experience. The walls were adorned with memorabilia from legends like the Beatles, Elvis Presley, and Jimi Hendrix. Each piece told a story, making every visit feel like a journey through music history. Live music often complemented the dining experience. Many locations hosted local and international bands, turning an ordinary meal into a full-fledged concert. The atmosphere was vibrant, fueled by the energy of rock anthems blaring through the speakers and the clinking of beer glasses. Hard Rock cafes became destinations for celebrating milestones, from birthday parties to post-concert hangouts. In the 1980s, the cafe's iconic T-shirts became a global trend. Tourists purchased them as souvenirs, showcasing the Hard Rock Cafe logo paired with the city's name. These shirts became a status symbol, representing not only a visit to the cafe but also an appreciation for rock culture. 35. Benihana. Benihana, the Japanese steakhouse chain, became a culinary institution during the 1970s and 1980s, drawing diners with its unique combination of high-energy dining and theater. Founded in 1964 by Rocky Aoki in New York City, the chain expanded rapidly throughout the 70s and 80s, thanks to its concept of teppanyaki-style cooking, where chefs prepare meals right in front of the customers on sizzling hot grills. The restaurant's iconic teppanyaki cooking method involved skilled chefs performing impressive knife skills, creating a sense of spectacle while preparing meals such as shrimp, steak, and chicken. The chefs often incorporated tricks, flipping knives, juggling bottles, and creating fiery eruptions, all of which made each meal feel like a show. These culinary performances made Benihana a popular choice for families, date nights, and special occasions, creating an atmosphere that was both exciting and memorable. The menu at Benihana in the 1970s and 1980s offered a mix of traditional Japanese dishes and Americanized favorites. The hibachi grilled steak and shrimp, served with fried rice, vegetables, and dipping sauces, became signature offerings. The restaurant also served sushi rolls and tempura, though its teppanyaki dishes were the main attraction. The introduction of cocktails, such as the famous Benihana Mai Tai, complemented the lively dining experience. Benihana's atmosphere was designed to be upscale but not overly formal. The dark wood furniture, warm lighting, and minimalist Japanese decor set the tone for an evening of fun and fine dining. The interactive nature of the meal, where customers could watch their food being prepared right before them, encouraged conversation and engagement, making it a communal experience. The restaurant's success laid the foundation for other hibachi-style restaurants to emerge in the years that followed. But Benihana remains a defining brand of the era. 36. Sizzler. Sizzler was founded in 1958 in Culver City, California. It capitalized on the growing trend of family-friendly dining during the 70s and 80s. Its appeal lay in its diverse menu, which included everything from sizzling steaks to seafood, pasta, and a signature salad bar with fresh vegetables, fruits, and toppings. The restaurant chain became synonymous with value and variety. Sizzler offered meals that catered to all tastes, making it a popular choice for families, groups, and budget-conscious diners. The all-you-can-eat salad bar, which often included a wide range of toppings such as croutons, shredded cheese, and dressings, was a hallmark of the Sizzler experience. Patrons could fill their plates with fresh salad before diving into a hearty entree, often served with a side of Sizzler's famous garlic bread. Steak lovers flocked to Sizzler for its tender cuts of beef, including the classic New York strip and the sizzling platter presentations. The sound of the steak sizzling on the hot plate added a theatrical element to the meal, drawing attention from other diners and adding excitement to the experience. Sizzler also offered seafood options such as shrimp cocktails and fish fillets, providing a variety of choices to accommodate different tastes. As the 80s drew to a close, Sizzler began to evolve its image to keep up with the times, but its legacy as a family dining institution remains an important part of the era's restaurant culture. The combination of hearty meals, a casual atmosphere, and an all-you-can-eat salad bar made Sizzler a go-to destination for casual dining in the 70s and 80s. 37. The Cheesecake Factory, founded by Evelyn Overton in 1972. The Cheesecake Factory began as a small cheesecake shop in Los Angeles before expanding into a full-fledged restaurant. By the 1980s, the brand had gained a reputation for offering a diverse selection of high-quality dishes in a lavish setting, where guests could enjoy both the meal and the ambiance. The restaurant's signature item, its cheesecake, was a true standout. With an array of flavors, including classic New York-style cheesecake, chocolate, and fruit-infused options, the dessert was rich, creamy, and undeniably decadent. As the Cheesecake Factory expanded into a full restaurant concept, the menu grew to include an impressive variety of dishes, ranging from pasta and burgers to steak, seafood, and more. The combination of upscale comfort food with an indulgent dessert menu became the hallmark of the brand. The decor of the Cheesecake Factory in the 80s was instantly recognizable. The large, opulent dining rooms were adorned with heavy wooden furniture, intricate moldings, and luxurious lighting fixtures, giving the restaurant an air of sophistication. This setting made it a popular choice for special occasions, from birthday dinners to anniversaries. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the experience. The atmosphere was warm and welcoming, designed to make guests feel as though they were stepping into a world of fine dining without the pretense. By the late 1980s, the Cheesecake Factory began its rapid expansion, opening more locations across the United States. The restaurant's attention to detail, its wide-ranging menu, and its commitment to quality made it a favorite among foodies and casual diners alike. 38. TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays, or simply Fridays, became the first TGI Fridays restaurant opened in 1965 in New York City. But it wasn't until the 1970s that it captured the essence of what would become its iconic brand. The 1980s marked the restaurant's golden era, as it rapidly expanded across the United States, catering to a wide audience of young adults and families. What set TGI Fridays apart was its energetic and fun environment. The staff, often dressed in red and white striped shirts and suspenders, created a lively atmosphere that was paired with loud music, neon lights, and eye-catching decor. The restaurant's signature drink, the frozen daiquiri, and the signature appetizer, potato skins, quickly became synonymous with the brand. The combination of bold flavors, hearty portions, and a fun-loving vibe made it a favorite for diners looking to let loose and enjoy a casual meal out with friends. The menu at Fridays in the 1980s offered classic American comfort food, but with a flair. Ribs, burgers, steak, and fried appetizers were common fare, but what truly distinguished the restaurant was its dedication to innovation. Dishes like the Jack Daniel's Grill, featuring a signature whiskey glaze, gave TGI Fridays a unique twist on familiar comfort foods. The introduction of themed cocktails, such as the iconic Long Island iced tea, became popular choices for patrons looking to enjoy a refreshing beverage alongside their meal. In the 1980s, TGI Fridays was also a hotspot for the young professional crowd. It became known for its happy hours and casual gatherings, where people could enjoy drinks, snacks, and a fun atmosphere after work. The 1980s saw TGI Fridays solidify its place in American culture, thanks to its ability to combine great food, a festive ambience, and a sense of inclusivity that appealed to a wide range of customers. Today, TGI Fridays remains a nostalgic symbol of the 80s dining scene, with its unique blend of casual dining, great cocktails, and a lively, fun atmosphere. The brand continues to thrive, but its legacy from the 1970s and 1980s will forever remain a part of the American dining experience. 39. Caraba's Italian Grill. Caraba's Italian Grill, founded by Johnny Caraba and his uncle, Damian Mandola, in 1986, made its debut in Houston, Texas. The restaurant quickly became known for its welcoming atmosphere and authentic family-style Italian cuisine, elevating casual dining to a new level. The duo's focus was on quality, authenticity, and attention to detail, inspired by their family's Italian roots in Sicily and southern Italy. Caraba's stood out for its commitment to traditional recipes passed down through generations. The open kitchen concept allowed diners to watch as their meals were prepared, adding a sense of theater to the experience. The scent of freshly baked bread, the sizzle of meats on the grill, and the vibrant flavors of garlic, olive oil, and fresh herbs quickly became signature elements of the Caraba's experience. Notable offerings included chicken marsala, veal parmesan, and the signature Carmela's chicken in a rich, savory sauce. The restaurant's wood-fired pizza oven, which was relatively rare in that time, was used to make the crisp, thin-crust pizza that has since become a staple. Caraba's also offered a wide variety of wines, embracing the Italian tradition of pairing meals with perfectly matched vintages. The company's expansion into multiple states during the 1990s was built on the success it achieved during the 80s. By consistently focusing on authentic recipes and a family-friendly atmosphere, Caraba's Italian Grill became a hallmark of the 1980s restaurant scene and continues to be a popular choice for Italian dining. 40. El Pollo Loco. El Pollo Loco, which translates to the Crazy Chicken, started as a small Mexican fast food chain in Mexico in 1975 before reaching American shores in 1980. The restaurant's signature dish, flame-grilled chicken, was marinated in a special blend of spices before being grilled over an open flame. This technique resulted in tender, juicy chicken with a smoky, flavorful crust that quickly became a favorite among locals. El Pollo Loco's menu also featured traditional Mexican dishes like tacos, burritos, and quesadillas, allowing the restaurant to stand out in a growing Mexican fast casual market. One of the distinguishing features of El Pollo Loco was its ability to offer fresh, made-to-order meals at a fast food pace. The restaurant's brightly colored interior, featuring warm hues of red and yellow, paired with its casual vibe, made it an inviting place for families and individuals to dine. Customers could watch as their food was prepared, adding a sense of transparency and trust in the brand. In addition to its signature chicken, El Pollo Loco began introducing salads, sides like rice and beans, and the famous Polo Bowl in the late 80s, which became an instant favorite for customers looking for a hearty, flavorful meal in a convenient format. The company's commitment to high-quality ingredients, including fresh produce and quality meats, was key to its success. 41. Lums. Ever heard of hot dogs steamed in beer? Sounds kind of freaky, but this was the signature of Lum's way back in the 70s. The restaurant began as just a single hot dog stand in Florida, founded in 1956 by brothers Stuart and Clifford Perlman, whom bought a hot dog stand in Miami Beach, Florida, and named it Lum's. The restaurant grew in leaps and bounds and had over 350 franchises across the country by the 70s. Their reason for fame were as a result of the frosted glass beers, fried seafood, and their signature beer-steamed hot dogs and tantalizing Ollie burgers. The beer-steamed hot dogs became an early signature item at Lum's, while the seasoned Ollie burgers came a bit later on as the franchise grew. In spite of their success during the 1970s, they decided to sell the restaurants later on in the decade. By 1983, all but one restaurant had closed, with the last one closing in 2017. 42. Minnie Pearl's Fried Chicken. Minnie's was a short-lived business franchise that took the industry by storm back in the 70s. Minnie Pearl's Fried Chicken had quite an interesting backstory. In order to get into that, we have to mention another famous fried chicken fav, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now the founders of Minnie's, brothers John J. Hooker and Henry Hooker, were intrigued by the evolution and success of the KFC franchise and decided to give it a shot. Seems it was a shot in the dark, seeing as the business went nowhere in no time at all. The brothers started the business with much ambition to go around, but they didn't have the most basic things needed to start a fried chicken business: a recipe and a lick of experience. The franchise was started with the sole aim of making money, and much thought wasn't put into its planning. The brothers eventually got a food lab in California to create a good enough recipe that could compete with KFC's. With the aid of certain connections, they got a well-known celebrity at the time, American comedian Sarah Ophelia Colley Cannon, stage name Minnie Pearl, to endorse their business, which they later franchised. Unfortunately, none of these were good enough to keep the business afloat for long. The franchise gained popularity fast in the 70s and lasted for a while. The business eventually crashed and burned in 1968, as it was faced with allegations of accounting irregularities and stock price manipulation. 43. Geno's Hamburgers. Geno's Hamburgers was a fast food restaurant chain founded in Baltimore, Maryland, by two NFL players of the Baltimore Colts defensive end, Gino Marchetti and running back Alan Amici, in 1957. Geno's was a popular hamburger joint which stood out from other fast food places at the time. It was known for its signature sirloiner burgers made from sirloin steak, as well as the Jumbo Gino and the Gino Giant. It was much loved by families as it promised a quality dining experience and good food. By the 70s, they had become a big deal and gained popularity in the East Coast with plans to expand into the Midwest. However, their plans to expand fell through, and by 1982, the restaurant changed hands and was sold to Marriott, causing a drastic change for the chain. Over time, Geno's unique taste and signature sirloiner were lost amidst the transition across all chains. Most locations were changed into Roy Roger restaurants, and eventually, over the course of a few years, Geno's faded into history. 44. Levin's. Levin's was a popular chain of upscale steakhouses and family dining restaurants that gained a loyal following in the Midwest, particularly in Chicago. Founded in the 1940s, Levin's became known for its high-quality steaks, seafood, and classic American fare, offering a fine dining experience with an emphasis on excellent service and a warm, inviting atmosphere. The chain had a reputation for serving hearty, well-prepared meals, making it a favorite destination for special occasions, business dinners, and family gatherings. Unfortunately, the restaurant started facing some challenges like change in customer preferences, decline in brand loyalty, and a failure to adapt would lead to its closure in the early 1990s. 45. Chi-Chi's. Chi-Chi's was a Mexican restaurant chain founded in 1957 in Richfield, Minnesota by Marta McDermott and Max McGee McDermott, former Green Bay Packers wide receiver, opened Chi-Chi's in a downtown bar. The restaurant was named after McDermott's wife's nickname. The restaurant's cuisine gave a much-needed variety to everyday American fast foods, giving it some much-appreciated Mexican touch. Over the course of many decades, the restaurant enjoyed decent success and popularity, and opened various chains in different locations. This all crashed and burned when one of the Chi-Chi's locations suffered a hepatitis outbreak. The incident had a massive impact on the restaurant's image, from which they would never recover. The incident led to the infection of 650 customers, and unfortunately the death of 4 customers, which led to the permanent closure of Chi-Chi's in the United States. Chi-Chi's, however, stayed running in other countries. 46. Toots Shor's Restaurant. Toots Shor's was a popular attraction back in the 70s. It was a restaurant and lounge owned and operated by Bernard Toots Shore at 51 West 51st Street in Manhattan during the 1940s and 50s. The restaurant was known for its oversized circular bar and social scenes and its hearty, warm, all-American menu. It became a hotspot for celebrities of the likes of Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, and even Julie Garland, making it a restaurant second to none in its day. It wasn't loved just for its menu, but for the rich and vibrant crowd it housed every night, making it the center of the city's social scene. However, at the dawn of the 1970s, the restaurant began to lose its shine and was slowly becoming a shadow of its former self. Gone were its glory days, and it had become nothing but an old restaurant with a glamorous history, struggling to keep up with the fast-rising trends of the industry. In 1971, the building was seized due to a tax scandal, forcing the restaurant to close its doors. After a year, Toots managed to reopen the restaurant, but it was already too late, and the restaurant was nothing but a shadow of its former glory. 47. Stork Club. The Stork Club was a famous nightclub in New York City, a hotspot for celebrities and movie sensations. Brimming with elite patrons, it was the place to be. It was founded by Sherman Billingsley in 1929. Through the course of the club's existence, it became one of the world's most prestigious clubs. It was often the center of scandals, glamorous parties, and deal-making, serving Hollywood's finest. Patronized by the likes of Marilyn Monroe and Ernest Hemingway, the club carried the image of luxury, gossip, and mystery served with a long glass of champagne and caviar. With a decadent food variety, jaw-dropping patrons, and strict entry policy, it was reserved only for the best, earning and maintaining an aura of class and luxury. But like all good things, the club's glory days came to a close. It faced a slow decline as more modern hangout spots and fast-changing trends emerged. They were unable to keep up with the times and eventually faded into history by the end of the 1960s. The building later burned down in a fire incident in 1979. 48. Red Coach Inn. The Red Coach Inn, named after the carriage that brought General Marquez de Lafayette to Niagara Falls, was established in 1923 by William Shaw and Charles Peabody in Niagara Falls, New York. The inn was fashioned to resemble the old-fashioned English Tudor-style red brick architecture of Old England. The restaurant and bed and breakfast emanated an inviting and homey allure upon entry, with warm candlelight and the smell of home-cooked meals. The restaurant was known for its classic American comfort foods. From decadent chocolate cakes to freshly made apple pies, the inn had exceptional service and culinary attractions. In addition to the exceptional menu, the inn served as a top choice in its day, as the venue was used for special celebrations and fairs. This was due to its alluring atmosphere and breathtaking scenery. There isn't much information about why the Red Coach Inn restaurant closed down, however. Despite the inn's praiseworthy reputation, rich history, and service, it lost traction and popularity over the years due to changing trends and shift in consumer preferences. 49. Beefsteak Charlie's. Beefsteak Charlie's was a New York City restaurant owned by Charles Chesser in 1914. This restaurant was well known for their beefsteak sandwiches and horse racing decor. Along with the well-known steak sandwiches, the restaurant was much frequented due to its never-ending access to shrimp and salads. The restaurant eventually switched hands in 1934 and went to William Soshnick, a New York newcomer from Poland. The scene switched from sports heads to a popular hangout spot for jazz musicians in the 1950s and 60s. It was successful for many years and took the risk of expanding in the 1970s. They began a chain and opened up at over 60 locations in and around the East Coast. Their fame and success, however, came to a sad close as before the end of the 80s, many locations closed down, and by 1989 they had to file for bankruptcy. It was in operation for 70 long years. 50. The Catfish Cabin. The Catfish Cabin was a regional chain of seafood restaurants that became a beloved dining destination in the southern United States, particularly in Texas and Louisiana. Established in the late 1960s, the restaurant specialized in fried catfish, hush puppies, and other southern-style comfort foods like shrimp, oysters, and gumbos. Its reputation for serving high-quality, generously portioned meals at affordable prices made it a favorite among families and seafood lovers alike. The casual, friendly atmosphere and the signature all-you-can-eat catfish platters contributed to its popularity throughout the 1970s and 1980s. The Catfish Cabin's appeal was rooted in its focus on regional flavors and the tradition of Southern hospitality. The restaurant featured a rustic, home-style decor with a warm, welcoming ambiance. As its name suggested, the primary draw was its catfish, which was typically breaded and fried to perfection, often served with sides like coleslaw, fries, and cornbread. Its reputation for delicious, affordable meals made it a staple in many southern cities and small towns. However, despite its initial success, The Catfish Cabin eventually faced a series of challenges that led to its decline and eventual shutdown in the 1990s, such as lack of innovation, economic pressure, and a saturated market. With this, we've come to the end of today's video. Were there any restaurants that made you reminisce about the good old days? Or was there any dish you've missed? You're welcome to share it with us in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye and see you soon.